saw my business and stuff.
We get to use the outlet on 5 o'clock that day.
I did the little QR code, but I didn't get called. You didn't get called back. I'm serious. And then, somebody said, well, just show up. I'm like, what? Why do you just show up?
But now you can.
Apparently, people just show up.
Yeah, you said you just show up,
Yeah, you show up.
but where you want
I
to
didn't
close,
get it.
where you want to close.
So anyway.
Good morning, everyone. Need to call the meeting to order. Everyone, please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As usual, you set on your cell phone. Ms. Little, you have roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer,
Here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
Commissioner Fields,
Here,
Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Here.
We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Mr. Belcher.
Thank you, Mayor. Morning, everyone. Item number 4A on your agenda, approval of the minutes for a regular meeting, March 24th, 2026. We have a motion with Commissioner Brooks. We have a second.
second.
Second by Commissioner Fields. Any discussion? All those in favor,
Aye.
say aye. Motion, opposed? Motion carries. Item 4B on your agenda, approval of the minutes from the joint city-county budget workshop of April 2nd, 2026. Any discussion or corrections? If not, entertain a motion to approve. Motion by the mayor, second.
I'll say.
Motion by Commissioner Galbraith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 5A on your agenda, we've got proclamation for Miss Anna Vance, our Housing Authority Director's retiring. I'll turn it over to the mayor for the reading of a proclamation.
Okay. Proclamation. Whereas Anna Vance demonstrated steadfast leadership, dedication, and a deep commitment to public service through her work with the Paris Housing Authority of Paris, Kentucky for 35 years. And whereas upon assuming her role, Anna Vance took on the responsibility of guiding a public housing community through a period of needed improvement with a focus on strengthening safety, stability, and quality of life for its residents. And whereas through persistence and leadership, she worked to help transform the community into a safer, revitalized, and thriving neighborhood that now stands as a source of pride for the city of Paris. And whereas her work was at times carried out under challenging circumstances, including difficult and at times unsafe conditions, as she remained focused on improving the well-being of residents. And whereas her dedication has not only improved housing conditions, but has also helped restore a sense of pride, dignity, and opportunity for individuals and families within our community. And now therefore, I, John A. Plummer, Mayor of the City of Paris, Kentucky, together with City Commissioners Tim Gray, Wallace Brooks, Stan Galbraith, and Sharon Fields, do by here recognize and express sincere appreciation to Anna Vance for her dedicated public service and meaningful contributions, and extend our best wishes for a fulfilling and well-deserved retirement.
Thank you, Mayor, and certainly. Go ahead.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you all, and certainly wish Miss Anna the best in her next chapter in her life, so she will be missed. Item 6A on your agenda, we've got, as we discussed at our budget workshop, we have a first reading of an ordinance 2026-2, amending employee pay scale and classification ranges. Again, as we discussed in our budget workshop, we need to add a part-time line in the police department, and that's what this does. Chief, you want to you have anything else further to say on that? I think we have,
Well, the benefit of hiring part-time, you don't have to pay the extra expenses of hazardous duty and health insurance and things like that. Some of the guys would be looking for, girls would be, somebody that's retired from hazardous duty, a retiree or something like that, or just wants to do a certain amount of hours a month. So that's what would benefit.
and as we discussed, we're working with the Paris City Schools in terms of trying to extend their agreement for the SRO. And this may be a possible way to add coverage for at the same expense or possibly less.
Same
So
amount.
better coverage, but yeah, so we gotta add the part-time line to our pay scale, and then we'll have a second reading, obviously, next meeting, and job description, which is basically that of a police officer. So if there's any discussion or questions, I'd be happy to entertain a motion. Yes, that's right. Thank you very much. All right, item number 7A on your agenda, actually 7A through J. Our consent agenda, would anyone like to raise anything up for further discussion on the consent agenda? I have a couple of things, but.
I just had a couple of questions about it. I was gonna ask Chief
Yes.
Burden, on Jonathan Tucker. Has he got experience, previous experience?
He actually worked for Harris.
Okay, he did, okay.
And then he went to UK police, and he's one of the guys from the UK.
He's back.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. I thought so.
We don't have any new employees with us, right? Sam, you can edit it, okay. All right. I was going to introduce, all I was going to do was introduce our new employees, but they're not here, that's.
And then the other question I had about one of the consent items is, I saw Chad come in. Hey, Chad, what percentage is Judy Construction on our project over there?
We're roughly 80%. Unfortunately, we're about now 2 steps forward, 1 step back. We've got an issue with one of the high service pumps that was actually the motor. We finalized the decision last night, pulled that motor either today or tomorrow. Have it reworked, we'll have another one in place as a backup. But they anticipate that motor being out about 6 to 7 days. And then put back in, we'll move forward from there.
So it's a backup.
We are actually gonna put the old motor back in.
Okay,
So we'll have a backup while we take out the one that is not performing as expected.
you say about 80%, we're about 80% completed on the contract we had with them.
We're about 80%.
Okay. Okay, that's a,
The other thing I want to mention, item 7A, and I appreciate Aaron Sparkman for his work on the pole attachment agreement with respect to Spectrum. I think currently we are $4. This takes it to 18, I do believe. Aaron, you want to say anything further on that? We, again, worked with Linda Ain and attorneys with representing Spectrum to get that moved forward. So thanks to Aaron and all of his work and Spectrum working with us. We glad to see that move forward. So if there's any other discussion or questions, be happy to.
Chief Burton, when does our new assistant chief start?
May the 4th,
May 4th?
yes, he's going to give us 2 weeks' notice after this meeting today.
All right.
If there's no further discussion, I would entertain the motion for consent. Motion by Commissioner Brooks, second by the mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Okay, item 7A on your agenda. Would like to have some discussion on this. If Mike, if you could, step forward. Did I skip something?
You said 7A.
I'm sorry, 8A. I apologize. I had 7A on my mind, so.
Start at 7, right?
It's not on 7A. We could pull up the map. When you scroll down to the map, I don't know how it shows up on your all's packet, but we had a map of the downtown
Any far
area.
names and all?
Yeah, so a lot of good things happening downtown. it's kind of scrunched a little bit, I apologize, but a lot of good things happened in downtown. Mike and I and others, got several requests, from downtown merchants, of course, follow-up discussion that we had a while back in terms of parking downtown. And then, looking at just engaging the public and naming the parking lots. So what this does, and I'll let Mike chime in because he's done the heavy lifting here, and the point, being the point on this project. So what we're looking at in order to create, what was it, Mike, 24 additional downtown public parking spaces? Public spaces. So what this plan, or what this, again, this concept, this, if you all decide to move forward with this, what we're doing is establishing 24 additional public parking spaces in the downtown area, again, to try to address the parking needs. And again, if anyone's gone downtown, during the day or even in the evenings, parking has become a premium, so that's good. And in order to do that, we need to change the direction, or at least make 6th and 9th Street one way. And so that allows for that additional parking, on-street parking there. In addition, we also received a request from the hotel as well as Lils for active loading zones in front of those. So that is indicated here, as well as, again, Angelica has engaged the public in terms of trying to name our parking lots and for better uniformity and again, for just consistency, I think, as you would, Mike, would agree, so.
Everybody calls them something different when you go to 2 areas, so you don't know what I call it, so having them named does definitely help the new people that we hire. If I say go here, we know where they're going, so, or they'll know. So that would help out a lot, man. On the 9th Street parking, I believe that will help the YMCA so much. Y'all know the issues we have, constant issues up there with all the folks get up there. You got semis blocking off 10th Street, can't make the turn. This would really add a lot of parking down 9th Street, and folks will be able to just go right in there. I think it'll alleviate a whole lot of parking issues there. I think it's good all the way around. I think it's gonna benefit us and the Y and police department from having to go down there and get a car moved, then you got traffic backed up to the railroad track. We've been there so many times. On 6th Street, I believe there was 9 additional spaces that would be added total. I don't have my map with me right offhand, but it would add more parking in the middle than 2 additional spaces down on 4th Street. And it came out to a total of 24. And there may be more once we actually get down there and lay it out. This was all done by walking and trying to look at it, but sometimes you can add more spaces. So, if you're not from Paris, and I'm not from Paris, when I first moved here, when you come down Main Street, you don't know where to go because one road goes this way and the other side goes this way. So we're working on getting everything uniform to where they cross together. And the benefit for us would be snow plowing. It's in the middle of the day, it's impossible almost to do downtown because you're trying to go. If you go 7th Street this way, then you got to come all the way around the block and get the other side of 7th. So this will help start making these changes. And we didn't want to do everything all at once. We wanted to show something first and work
Kind
our
of
way
phase it
toward
out.
other.
Yeah, and I appreciate Mike too, because we listed the emergency services to look at it. And
I looked at that
You
too.
know,
when
there's
we were
line of
done,
sight
because
issues.
I didn't want to make changes to where it would be, where they'd have to go all the way to 7th Street to get across. We wanted to make it to where they could still continue to get around police and fire. So.
Any questions, concerns?
You think it improves the flow of traffic, I guess?
I think it'll improve, yeah, it'll help people definitely know, having the markers up. And as we do this, you'll start seeing changes in signage to downtown. Once we start, we have to start making those changes, and it'll improve parking and get people in and out of Main Street better. So.
Miss Betty Ann,
Jolted.
surprise. Do you have an opinion or comment about this since you're in tourism and people are usually asking for directions, calling your office, how to get to,
Well, we do have a lot of people that actually come in,
okay,
trying to figure out which way to go, which street to turn on. And living on not those streets, but some of the streets, we see a lot of people going the wrong way anyhow. So hopefully this would alleviate some of that. I mean, probably weekly, where we are, we'll see somebody come up one of the streets and turn up Main Street, or they come from Pleasant over to Main, and they realize they're not supposed to be there because there's no light. So this should alleviate a lot. And it would also help all the people that say, y'all are taking away all our parking.
So we're adding 24 more public spaces, so.
So to be able to say that.
And I will say, because we had some, discussion that when we talked about before, and Chief and I briefly discussed, as far as enforcement, Main Street, we're going to enforce the 3 hour, and it's designated,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
As far as the side streets are concerned, that's, in our estimation, is that, for employees and shop owners, and again, overflow. So that's gonna be probably not enforced. And, to allow for that. Main Street, yes, but those side streets are designed for, that type of, activity and parking, so more long-term parking, if you will. And of course, we've got, 6 parking lots, so, at any given time, you walk more than 2.5 blocks. You're to your destination, so
Yeah.
typically, so. The only caveat that I would add, the list, Mike, and I was gonna get with you before, but should we add the word lot after each of the names for dispatch, or, so if we got one that's Winter Circle Way, I wouldn't want that to be
I wouldn't
confused
want
with.
a lot at the end.
I-
I think
It's a
it's just
thought.
a
It's just
matter
a
of people catching on what
Okay.
they mean. I think, once we give this to dispatch, and the team, everybody will
Kind of, all right, so I
understand
just
that
wanted to,
it's the parking lots.
Someone talked with Bluegrass Federal.
I have not, this is across the street where the parking will be, it won't be on their side of the street, because I wanted to leave that open because there's a drive, but I didn't want,
Come through the drive.
yeah, I didn't want people blocking
Yeah.
the view on that side, so when I done this, I looked at all the possibilities, people's got to pull out of these streets and all that, so I was trying to keep it to where everything would flow evenly down through it.
we'll do a slow rollout. Again, this is not gonna be overnight.
Yeah, no, we'll
It's gonna be a
probably start with
gradual
one
thing.
street, then put that out to the public, then maybe a week, get the other street. We don't want to do it all at once, and people, cause too much confusion.
Thoughts?
Try it. See how it works.
Yeah.
Always say things back.
If there's no further discussion, I would entertain a
When is
motion.
this supposed to start? I'm sorry.
We'll start working on it pretty much,
Yeah, I mean,
immediately, but
we'll
again, it's
start,
gonna be phased.
I've got some stuff on locates and all that. It'll probably, won't even start seeing anything for at least 2 weeks. But we'll make sure it's all publicized before we.
So we got activities going on at that point.
Yeah, we'll work around activities and make sure that we're not done it right in the middle of.
Yeah.
Downtown.
We're-
or something.
Acutely aware of that, so for sure. Motion- Got a motion by the mayor to approve. Second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Brooks. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, thanks for everything.
Thanks so much, Mike. Yeah. All right. Item 9A, report from outside agencies. Of course, see Betty Ann, see Michelle. I think Michelle's out, but Betty Ann?
When you said there's a lot of things going on downtown, probably more things going on downtown than normal, as everybody knows. The movie crew was in town last week, and talk about, excitement, fun, frustration, anything you can think of, except bad weather. So, of course, it did snow later on in the evening, so that was exciting. I spent the whole day down there talking with, everybody's like, are you gonna be in this movie? And I'm like, no, I'm talking to all the directors and the actors and all the people, and they had nothing but good things to say about Paris. The people, the buildings, they were so impressed with our Main Street. They really loved our Main Street, so I think that's gonna be a big draw for possibly other films. One director is bringing another director in this week to scout out locations, and so this is just the start of something. The casting director who was here, he's planning on possibly using Oasis as a casting site for people from all around central Kentucky to come here to be cast for movies somewhere else. It doesn't have to be a movie that's here. But it was great to see how everybody worked together. I mean, the Mike Smith and the crew put up all the Christmas decorations in that block, and then the police were there letting traffic through. As we know, it was intermittent, so it did not disrupt business. People could still walk to the stores who were open, and I suggested that they take advantage of the fact that they could pass out samples or business cards or coupons to all the people. They had an overflow of extras. I mean, a huge amount of extras showed up that they didn't expect, because it's funny to be on the other side listening to the people talking. So I was told that they filmed for an hour and a half with the first bunch of extras, and then all the other people that waited, they let them leave, and they were allowed to come in, and they got filmed as well. So they were all very nice, and the actors were very nice about taking pictures with people and wandering around Paris. You saw them walking up and down the street. So it was great fun. So watch for Silver Bells Christmas on the Great American Family Channel. Channel 27 came down and covered it. Channel 18 came down and covered it. And I've got a call right now when I leave here. I'm going to talk to Spectrum News. They're going to cover it. So, and I had friends from Frankfurt that said, oh, I saw Paris on the news. So that went out a lot further than right here. Somebody saw it in Cincinnati. So.
They rejected Matt as an extra.
I didn't get a call back. Sorry.
Yeah, I told you not to drive down the street.
I know, you
Away
told me.
and
I
try to
know,
bag them.
I saw you, you said just show
I know.
them.
I'll see what I can do though.
I appreciate
For
it.
next
Yeah,
movie,
Next time.
which there's another movie in June, and it is going to be at Houston Dale Farms where they're going to film, which is out Peacock Road. And Jessica Moore is the owner, and she's thrilled. And I have spoken with Mike Mead, who is one of the producers on that film. He called me, and it's so funny because it is all in who you know, because Mike Mead is friends with Steve Lewis, who was raised in Bourbon County. And so he talked to Steve, and Steve told him who all to call. So that was fun. So he'll be coming in soon. And we look forward to being in more movies. Mild inconvenience for some, but in the long run, when we see our name going across the big screen, we'll be happy. So, and then there was a premiere. I didn't go to that, of a movie that was filmed at Misty Wrigley's farm. That was this past week as well. So Paris is all over this.
It's gonna be on TV later.
It is? Okay, didn't know that. Let's see, of course, with that said, on Saturday, Allison's not here, she's under the weather. We had the Chamber of Commerce 5K run. Police were there helping with that again. There was about 100 runners. It all went well, and there was a America 250 theme, so everybody, a lot of the people wore red, white, and blue. Some people went over the top with their red, white, and blue, which was fine. Friday is Art Walk. We are, as usual, people waiting till the last minute to tell me who's going to be set up at their store. I'm gonna go hoof it up and down the street today to get all those plans finished. I have been in contact with Mike and Judy and Aaron and Donnie about all the things that we need from the city, and again, we appreciate them. Let's see. The museum has a Remember When Toys of Our Childhood going on right now. The Storytelling Festival coming up May the 8th through the 10th. May the 9th, the Lexington Legends. It's Bourbon County night. We don't have a lot of information about that yet. Angelica has been in touch with Tim Mueller, and we should be getting something pretty quickly. Of course, there's a meeting today about the Stoner Creek Park project. And on April 21st, at Bourbon County High School at 6 p.m., the National Park Service will be here for a public input session as well.
The 21st and 22nd, or just the 21st? Or is it the 2 days?
This,
At the library.
well, this, I don't know, I got this.
I know the 21st for sure, but I
Okay.
was thinking it's both days.
There is one on the 22nd.
There is one.
I got this at that last meeting, so it's probably been updated since then.
Thank you.
Let's see, they have announced, the Legends of Bourbon County has announced that, Ruffian is the filly, the legend this year, and, that event will take place September 26th and 27th. And I've talked to you all about the Lovelock Gate, and it's going up this week, so. Probably forgot something, but I didn't need to.
Very good.
Thanks, Betty.
Yeah, thank you so much, Betty. Appreciate everything you do for us. Ms. Vanessa, do you have anything?
Yes.
Any updates?
Morning.
Morning.
Ed Holmes, EHI Consultants, his wife passed. The funeral will be today at Shiloh Baptist on 5th Street in Lexington, Kentucky. Wake starts at 12. The service is at 1. I know Ed worked with Planning and Zoning here, Planning Commission in Paris Westside Neighborhood Association. I talked to Ed. He said he didn't need anything. He would just like for us to pray for him and his family. Yeah.
We had a sympathy card too, if everyone's signed as well as passed around, so.
This is Ed's card.
Yeah.
Okay. This is
This
Ed's
is the
card.
message.
Okay.
You signed that. And anybody else that would like to renew Ed or work with Ed, I know Ed and I, we worked together for many years and, you go way back. I'm sorry.
Are you going?
I can't go to the
I can
funeral,
take this if you want me to.
Yes.
I'm going.
and I think we were gonna
Yeah.
order a flower arrangement or would have it delivered, so don't worry about that.
Okay, so you're gonna sign all this name?
But at any rate, we certainly extend our condolences to Ed's
Yes, I
Ed
will.
and his family,
Yeah, well,
and again, they're deeply sorry for the loss.
okay, I will certainly do that.
Yeah, anybody else would, that knew Ed or worked with Ed, they're welcome to sign the card, and thank you, Vanessa. Any other outside agency sheriffs, you have anything?
Just something very brief.
All right.
As we all know, April 15th, tomorrow, last day for tax collection. office on 4:30 to be the last day for in-person tax collection, as well as everybody else is on Zoom.
Thank you. Any reports, updates from staff, city staff? I think we may have one. I had a couple of things, but I will. Samuel?
Right quick, starting week of May 4th, our department, along with probably some help from other city agencies, we're gonna start the hydrant flushing throughout the system. We'll probably run 2 to 3 weeks.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Worked hard to get that on the schedule and let everybody know. So anybody else have anything, Chief? Anything, Chief?
No.
Anything? Just a couple of things. Employee Appreciation Day, we're gonna have out at the Legion Park on the 22nd. Angelica, is that right? On the 22nd. You all are certainly welcome. Of April, I'm sorry, yeah, 22nd of April. Legion Park, we have lunch, of course, and then welcome to the 10, of course. And then Saturday, Wallace, right, Youth Baseball Opening Day at the New Millersburg
Little
Park.
parade, and then there'll be a bouncy houses, food trucks and things, yes.
Awesome. 11:30, I think is what I saw, and then the first pitch is noon.
Now, shortly after that, there'll be they're going to honor, or not honor, I should say, give an award to Todd and Travis for their, and then there'll be the first pitch after that.
I know they've had games this week. The crowd's been great.
Practices, and then, so, yeah, then the games will start, right after that, so that's this week.
All right. Brian, Larry, you have anything?
No, that's all I was bringing up was this week.
Okay, sorry,
It's
I had it on my notes, so
not a problem.
good. Thank you, man.
Can we get an update as to what is or is not happening with the distillery on Main Street?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yes.
can a representative come to our meeting and,
I have invited both Randall and Victor. We are working with them, and I say we Gordon us all as well. So I'm trying to bring myself up to speed on the project and met with them a couple of times, just real briefly. As far as their water needs, I think there was a sticking point there in terms of their water needs, water capacity. I think once we've separated the two in terms of what they need for their production, which we can supply, they are working or will need to work for to move forward with the project in terms of their fire suppression. So there's a lot of new regulations and rules, obviously, for distilling that process, and so their fire suppression needs it's quite great. So they're going to have to look at an additional fire suppression system, a tank, some sort of a vault, some sort of other type of system, and we're working with them to try to connect the dots about how they can achieve that. So
are they working with our fire department?
they are. So we've engaged them. I think there's other industries here in town that have similar separate fire suppression just for their particular type of industry.
Okay.
So we're trying to connect the dots with them, and then they'll have to move forward in terms of funding, working with economic development. How can we coordinate that? Because that is separate from the municipal water, water needs that they will have for their just daily production.
Okay.
So again, several conversations. We're still, again, working with them to try to connect the dots on what they're going to need to do for the fire suppression requirements. So what I've suggested in terms of working with other industries in the area, maybe other businesses that may also need fire suppression, and how we can coordinate a project with Gordon, his group, to serve the needs for that corridor as a whole. We'll see where that goes. I'm not sure what size tank. I mean, they're going to have to engage some engineers. We're working with our engineers to help, kind of coordinate that effort. So there's a lot of moving parts, but again, that's kind of a quick and dirty update. And they're welcome to come. Again, Randall and or Victor, I've asked them to come when we know more. Maybe they get a plan together in terms of what they're going to move forward with. Then we can invite them in and give an update. So kind of where we are. So it's kind of a long, brief update, but it's still in the works.
All right, thank you.
Just like to point out, it's National Telecommunications Week. And mention appreciation for our 911 folks. We kind of take for granted. We look at our police officers and our firefighters, and you don't think about the folks that are on the other end of that phone when you really need something. And just want to express my appreciation. And I'm sure I'll speak for all of us as a whole, in thanking them for jobs well done.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Alvin?
No, sir, don't have a thing.
Appreciate you all very much. I would note for the record that Brad is on vacation and he's excused for this meeting. Other than that, if there's nothing further come before the commission, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Galvin, second by Commissioner Gray. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you all.
Don't leave.
Don't leave.